Well, Matt, I feel like we could talk about good old times for forever here, but nobody would care about that, would they?
Yeah, yeah.
But so Matt Ramsey, the cooker of deliciousness, as the hat says, probably the craziest story I know, to be honest with you. But like somebody that I know personally. I was in your wedding.
Yeah. I mean, that was a long time ago. That was 22 years ago.
22 years ago, right.
We were puppies then.
Right, yeah. So Matt and I worked in the emergency room together at Owensboro.
Yep.
Many great stories, many great times. I knew Matt when he was, you were a tech, right?
I started
you were
as
still
a tech,
and then you were in nursing school.
Yep.
And then we were nurses together on the night shift, keeping the streets of Owensboro, all the people of Owensboro alive.
Yep.
I wouldn't say safe. When they weren't safe, they wouldn't be coming to us.
Banana bags to all the drunks. And
3 o'clock in the morning
on
a Sunday morning. But we kept them alive and good. But then, I left and went to, went to practitioner school and kind of came around and then ended up here. But you really took off in another direction.
Yeah.
So
it's very surreal.
I bet it is. Tell me all about it, man.
So I mean, I left the ER in 2008 with the cardiac cath lab. Worked there for 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
And then, Matthew Peach, who was an ER nurse as well, he does woodworking on social media. And he would just it was around 2020. He was blowing up on social media then. And, he's elite in the woodworking niche. He's got like 750,000 subs on YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And, he was like, man, I would just post on my personal Facebook. That was all I had. I would post if I grilled a steak, I'd be drinking beer or whatever.
Right.
And he would be like, man, you need to put that on TikTok. Like you need to start recording and doing that. And I was like, man, I don't want to mess with that stuff. I didn't really care about it. Well, finally, it was the last week of December 2020. I made a video and I posted on TikTok, created a TikTok account, and it got like 600 views or something. It may not have 1,000 to this day. And so then, but I'm persistent, dude. I'm stubborn. I'm persistent. I kept posting. Like 2 weeks later, I had a video that got like 10,000 views, and Matt saw it. He called me. He's like, dude, you got to keep doing this. He's like, that's crazy to get a video like that this early. So kept on, got to like 10,000 followers in a couple of months. And I made a video, made a bet with my wife, and I was like, I want a chocolate lab. Like, how many followers do I have to have on TikTok to do that? And she was like, 100,000. I'll be danged if I didn't hit 100,000 like 2 or 3 months after that. I had a couple of videos blow up. And, the week that I hit 100,000, she had already planned for us to go pick out the dog. Like, it was already planned and stuff, and it just so happened that it was that week. So, so Chocolate Lab led to me wanting to succeed on social media.
The goal of having your own dog.
Yeah.
It's like every boy.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then, slowly after that, I expected it, never expected to go anywhere. Like several months later, got my first offer that paid from Truff Hot Sauce, 4 videos for $900. I was like, that's pretty cool. And I was like, now that's not in the ballpark.
Right,
But then I thought it was pretty neat. And it just started to grow from there. And 2 years later, I'm making enough money that I can consider quitting nursing. And so it just made me hammer down more. And then August of 2023, I took the plunge and haven't looked back.
Dude, it's amazing. So the Matt I remember, I remember you being into a lot of things because I remember you and I were like the functional fitness guys back in the day. Like we were like kettlebell guys. We were like all over the on it stuff. We were swinging maces, and everybody was like, "What the hell are you guys talking about?"
Thought about that on the way over here,
right?
The kettle, because I bought that kettlebell. You remember Pavel Satzley?
Right.
I brought it to your house in Greystone when they first came out.
Yeah,
that was like 2003.
Yeah, so like kettlebells and sandbags and maces and all of this functional fitness stuff, and everybody was like, crazy about us. And I think that's why I was like, well, this is some sort of like almost like I don't know if providential is kind of is the word, but like I don't remember you cooking.
I didn't at that point.
Yeah.
No. It's funny because
I feel like we would have had we hung a lot. It was like
it was frozen pizzas and dry chicken breasts.
Yeah,
then.
Right, yeah.
I didn't start cooking until 2010 when we moved into the house we currently live in. I bought a Weber kettle grill and just, I was 30 years old that year.
Right.
Like, got a little interest in it, and it just kind of started to grow. I was like, oh, this is fun. I like making, and the interest just kept growing. And then when I started doing social media, then, I started really diving into it, and it's like now, dude, like I feel like I call it imposter syndrome, but like I literally get to hang out with the best barbecue people in the world.
Right.
I was at Memphis in May. I'm friends with Heath Riles, who's back-to-back world champion. Like he is the guy in barbecue right now.
Yeah.
And I was texting him this morning. Like they treat me like I'm one of them.
Like your buds. Right. Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. I mean, like I got to sit on a couch in Memphis in May and listen to a 6-time world champ and a lady that has one of the largest websites for barbecue on the internet talk about brisket. And I was just sat there like I wouldn't dare open my mouth. I was just going to be a sponge the entire time, listen to everything they had to say.
Yeah, sure. So whenever you were getting into it, I mean, obviously things catch fire and you're like, oh my God, like how to navigate that kind of thing, especially like so fast.
Yeah.
I mean, we were all the same, dude. We were all just kind of like, we were just dudes, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And how did that, I mean, obviously it had a huge impact on your life. But.
Yeah. It was still is a lot of trial and error. Like, I mean, I'm not, being a nurse, I was not business savvy. And if I was business savvy, I'd probably be making a lot more money than I do right now. So it's definitely been a lot of, that did not go well. Let's try to go a different direction and see if we can do better. And just try to get a little bit better every day and learn a little bit more every day.
Yeah. So I just got back from Cancun, Riviera Maya, or whatever, and we had for our Optimize You conference. I was down there with Stefan and John and all those guys, or Tony and all those guys. But we kind of eat and breathe about content, and we have people in our organization that are great at it.
Right.
I'm still like I'm still wanting to make like just funny Facebook posts kind of stuff, like which nobody cares about anymore, But as far as that world and that comfort, like I don't have it. Do you know Allie Gilbert, Silverback Summit?
I don't think so.
She's great. She's stocky blonde, pink miniskirt, like bleach blonde mohawk kind of thing, high heels. Talks about nothing but men's health. But she did a seminar there on the social media stuff, and like get out of your comfort zone. Like nobody cares.
Right.
Nobody cares what your lighting is like, which is me. Okay. Like I'm like I have to have the equipment, the lighting, the background's got to be proper, and it's just me just procrastinating, right? It truly is what it is. And I know that. They know that, but they tolerate me a little bit better, than that. But at what point or how did you start into that, like, done, send? Was that your process initially?
It kind of still is, man. I film everything on my iPhone.
Okay.
I edit everything on my iPhone.
Yeah.
I'm very simple when it comes to that stuff. Like I got a laptop that I use for like upload my recipes and stuff like that. But I started, I bought a camera and I was like, that's more work that I want to mess with. Like, I want to go fishing or something whenever, play golf whenever I've got free time. I don't want to spend it editing on different software. So I'm just very simple with everything. I do have some lighting and stuff in the kitchen. It's funny because it's just stays there now. Like we don't have and it's funny. You go to another creator's house and it's the same. Like they got stage lights in their kitchen.
Right. Yeah.
I got more cooking stuff than I could. I counted yesterday. I think I have 20 grills in my back patio now.
Oh my gosh! Yeah. You just get sent them.
I work with RecTech pellet grills. I work with Primo ceramic grills.
Okay.
And RecTech sent me 2 this past week, and it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. So whenever they send you stuff, and this is just kind of insider, kind of what it's like to be an actual creator kind of thing. So they send you the stuff, and then the expectation is that you're making posts about it, right?
Yeah. So my contract with them, it's only 1 video a month is what I am required to do. But I'm a relationship guy with a lot of these brands. Like I want to build a good relationship. This comes back from nursing. Like I always this as well.
Oh yeah.
Continuity.
Oh yeah.
Patients want continuity. They want to see the same doctor. So I want people to see me with the same brand year after year.
Right.
And it's got to be something that I believe in and think is a quality product.
Yeah.
So I will sometimes, like if I do 5 RecTech videos in a month, I'll put 5 out there for them. It's it's not hurt me any if I'm going to cook something
right,
anyway.
yeah, sure, right.
So there are creators that look down on that and like you're diluting it and like you need they need to be paying you for 5 videos and stuff like that. That's not how I look at it.
Right.
And it's working very well for me.
Good.
But also, you know, like coming from being a nurse for 20 years, like the amount of money that I make compared to what I did with nursing, and I made a good living with nursing, but whenever I get an offer for a video and they're, you know, my agent will be like, it's not enough. I'm like, that's 3 days worth of work for a 30-second video. Like that is enough. Like I'm completely, it's honestly ridiculous.
Right. Yeah.
But I'll take it, you know?
Yeah. So that was going to be my next question. Do you have an agent that kind of manages a lot of this stuff for you?
In between, I actually have a call tomorrow with a new management agency.
Okay.
I've been with a few, like 3 total. And it's just like, all have their strengths and their weaknesses. The one I'm talking to tomorrow, my buddy is with them, and he has nothing but good things to say about him. He's been with them for a while, so I'm hoping this is the one that is ends up being long term and quit messing with that stuff.
Yeah,
but, you know, the agencies typically the way it works, they get 20%, but they negotiate everything. They have legal teams that handle all the fine print.
Yeah.
It just takes a lot of stress off my shoulders.
Yeah.
And I'm not a good negotiator.
Well, and you understand there's a price that comes along with that because you don't want to do it. You know, at the end of the day, you just don't want to mess with it, right?
It's well worth 20%.
Exactly.
Yeah, well worth it.
Yeah, because it would, you know, you would probably end up making less if it was just you doing it.
They negotiate higher rates,
Sure,
because they know budgets, what these brands have, and you know, so it definitely works out better
too.
Yeah.
So, what was like the ignition point? So was you know, you made this one video, the Matt Peach kind of tells you to kind of keep rolling with it. What was the moment where you're like, oh my gosh, this is.
It was the dumbest video, man. It was like so Totino's Pizza Rolls. Like it's just like I got off work one night and I was like, you know what, I want to eat some pizza rolls. I saw a video that they put out earlier where they put like garlic butter on them or something. So I deep fried them. This is not optimized healthy stuff, but deep fried them, put a little butter on them, and then some Parmesan and some Italian seasoning and stuff, and posted it. And I woke up the next morning, I had 9 million views on TikTok. And I was like, are you kidding me? That's the first viral video I'd ever had. And I was like, whoa. So then that really motivated me. So then a couple months later, I make these, used to be a restaurant called Buckhead's in Louisville. I made these cheese boaters that I love from there. And they got 16 million views and just like crazy. And then like a few months after that, several months after that, I make something on a smoker, Primo smoker, 46 million views on Facebook.
Jeez.
And it was like, it blows my mind that 46 million people saw this video.
You, right? Yeah.
And that one led to a couple of contracts. So,
you know. So whenever that happens, whenever the 9 million one happens, let's say it's on Saturday night, whenever that happens, and this is just my dumbness to this, okay? So are you getting like messages on Monday morning? Or are you getting, I'm assuming that there's probably companies or agencies that, you know, kind of surf the area or like scout everything out, right?
Yeah,
you know,
Instagram especially. That's where my favorite is Facebook because I feel like I'm 46 years old. That's where people my age hang out.
Right, yeah.
That's my favorite to post on because I get the best engagement there. Instagram's my favorite to scroll and just all around my favorite. I hate TikTok.
Yeah.
And YouTube, I don't do long form yet, so it's not great. But yeah, Instagram is where you'll get your messages. I actually had a video go viral, and like 2 months later, a company reached out to me, and they're like, "Hey, we saw a spike in this seasoning, and we were trying to figure out it was from, and we figured out it was due to your video because it on all platforms they got like 10 million views or something.
Yeah.
So they had a spike in sales, so that led to a contract. So I got a couple video contract out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, they got people looking all the time, and it's to the point now where if I want free stuff, I'll just reach out to a brand and be like, "Hey, you send me this, and I'll do a quick video for you." And that's another thing agents don't like either. But you know,
sure, yeah.
You know,
have you always just stayed in that in like the barbecue grill kind of space?
Well, I kind of consider my cooking like a Swiss Army knife, like because I do a lot of barbecue, but I do a lot of comfort food. I'll do desserts and a lot of one pot meals, quick meals, like for busy weeknights, things like that. But then also like what I'm really trying to do now, especially with the age of AI, like I think to survive in social media in the next several years, you're gonna have to be authentic, and you're going to have to connect with the audience because AI cannot replace authenticity.
Right. Yeah.
So,
we have this conversation all the time.
yeah. So that's what I'm really focusing on now is trying to build a brand for myself to where people connect with me and not just the food. So I post more now. Like I post the food obviously, but like it's to the point now where like I do a lot of cooks outside of just recipes. So like I'm cooking for Fraternal Order Police Scramble on this coming Friday. I cook for my kids wrestling team. All these bigger cooks and stuff, and that leads to opportunities. Memphis in May, like just travel stuff, and I am working on changing my life as far as health goes. That's something we'll get into in a second.
Oh yeah, for sure.
The last few years, but. So I'm posting more of that stuff because that motivates. But there's a lot of people in the same boat as me. Like they want to eat the food that I'm making, but they also are like, you know what, I need to do better for myself. And I feel like I can kind of be that middleman. It's like you can do it, but you got to do it in moderation. Because I don't eat a lot of the stuff that I cook now. I eat it, but it's much smaller portions than what it used to be. Yeah, and like. I'll never give up alcohol. Like I'm a huge bourbon fan. So like there's a lot of bourbon content on there. Hunting, fishing, all that stuff. So I just kind of put everything in there.
What so you're cooking for the FOP. What goes into the selection? Do they tell you, or do people like know you, or you just?
No, so I cooked for them 2 years ago. It was a huge hit. Okay. And my brother's been law enforcement for 18 years. He's involved with the FOP.
God,
so
doesn't make sense. 18 years.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Gosh. Remember, he was the tech that just wanted to talk guns all the time.
Yeah, he still wants to talk guns, but
he's a 20-year law enforcement.
It's funny off the subject, but when I go into the gun store and I'm looking for something, they'll be like, "You got this and this." I'll just say, "What would Jared Ramsey buy?"
Yeah,
and they're like this, and I was like, "That's what I want. I don't need you to tell me. Just give it to me."
Yeah,
but so. I just made what I wanted 2 years ago, and it was a huge hit. Last year I was out of town, couldn't cook for it. This year they just gave me a budget. They're like, just give us the receipts, we'll reimburse you. So I went to Sam's Club and Costco before I came here, and I'm doing like St. Louis style ribs, pork belly burn-ins, pulled beef sliders, Nashville hot chicken sliders, all that stuff. They'll just be out on the golf course drinking beer and enjoying themselves, and hopefully eating well.
What kind of time frame does it? So that menu you just listed off there, what kind of time frame is that?
Well, I got to be there at like 7 in the morning, and I'll be set up on a hoe. So like it's a grind. Compared to nursing, it's
sure.
But I will stay up cooking all night. Like I got to go to Louisville tomorrow. I'll get home and I'll start prepping, and I will take 5-minute naps during the night, and I'll be up checking stuff constantly, and then I'll go to bed at 3:00 tomorrow afternoon, sleep for 2 hours, then go to bed that night.
Yeah, I went down this path a little bit. Like I bought the egg, I had the egg on the back porch, and then I had a Traeger's, and which I know it's the cheater or whatever, but
pellet grills are very convenient.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The end game for me is good food.
I feel like that if I've cut my teeth on the egg, then I've deserved to have a pellet one.
Now I have to say I'm a RecTech guy.
Hey, RecTech guy or a RecTech, yes, absolutely. But I understand the. I got out of it just because of the grind. I'm like, I can't. The chair that I typically sleep in with my dog, whenever we sit down and watch a movie and fall asleep 5 minutes later, is right to the back door. So I could, sit there and kind of monitor it or whatever. And then you got the app on your phone, all that other kind of stuff with the thermometer. But yeah, I love the food. But the work, man, it's not just, I love to smoke stuff and be gone.
No, it's a lot of work.
Each and every podcast at the Optimize You studio is sponsored by Optimize You Evansville. At Optimize You Evansville, we help you take control of your health, performance, and vitality through cutting-edge hormone optimization, peptide therapy, athletic recovery, weight loss, and sexual health solutions. Whether you're an athlete looking to maximize recovery, someone striving for sustainable weight loss, or just looking to feel like your best self again, we used advanced diagnostics and personalized treatment plans to get you there. Our science-backed approach helped optimize energy levels, mental clarity, muscle recovery, and overall well-being. Because feeling great isn't optional, it's essential. You ready to elevate your potential? Let's get started today at Optimize You Evansville, where normal is not optimal.
But that's another thing too. Like at this point in my life, like one of the things that brings me the most joy in life is feeding somebody and then being like, you can just genuinely tell that they're enjoying it. Yeah. Like that brings me a lot of joy.
Absolutely, yeah.
So it kind of like drives me. It's like, man, I just want to make something that, like, especially like my wife eats my food all the time. My kids eat. So, but every once in a while they'll be like, Dad, this is fantastic.
This is a winner right here.
Yeah.
So do you have a, so if you said you talked about uploading your recipes, do you have, do you have them all memorized? Do you know exactly what to do?
No, there's some that I make so often that I do.
Okay.
But it's like, baking is a different game.
Sure.
But when it comes to cooking, I put measurements on my website because people want measurements.
Right, yeah.
If I'm doing it for myself, most of the time, I'm just putting it in there and tasting it and being like, all right, that's good, or it needs more of this or that. But yeah, no, there's a couple that I have memorized. But most of the time, if I go to make it, I'll glance at it back. And
what is the cooker of deliciousness most known for?
Tortellini.
Tortellini.
Yeah, I do a lot of one-pot meals just because they're simple. And almost all kids like pasta.
Sure.
So like there's so many variations you can do with it, and it's been very successful for me. So I go to Sam's Club, Costco, get those big tortellini packs, and you can knock a meal out. And I did one the other night. It was super simple, but like 17 minutes I timed it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that is like, if you got 4 baseball games this week and you don't want your kid eating McDonald's every night,
there you go.
There's your option.
Yeah. So outside of the social media stuff, is this a service that you do? So do people call Matt and say, hey, I need 3 tortellinis for the week? Or
no, I get a lot of people requesting.
Yeah.
But I don't do anything. I've never sold anything that I've cooked.
Okay.
Because you'd have to get licensed or all
sure.
that. So I'll do it for charity stuff where I can just cook.
Yeah.
I've decided, like, I still have my nursing license, but I'm never going to work as a nurse again.
Yeah.
I already told my wife, I told her this the other night, like, I've been doing so many big cooks in the last year. I'm very confident that I could have a successful catering business if the social media was gone.
Yeah.
And if I don't want the social media to be over because it's freaking blast.
Yeah, sure.
Like next week, I got a email last week, ThermoWorks, the thermometer company, like they're based out of Salt Lake City, Utah, and they invited me to an event out there next week. And they're like, they said, we'll pay for everything. You just come out and enjoy the event. I'm like, heck
all
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to go to Salt Lake City.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
yeah. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So outside of, I last week or so you did, like the Montana Knife Company and all that other stuff. And I'm that guy that gives you clicks. So
I appreciate it.
So I go there, but you go to like Montana Knife Company, and you're like, damn, everything's sold out.
Yeah.
But
and I don't work with them, but I love to. I think they are the best knives in the world.
Maybe Montana Knife Company. Reach out to my boy. But make sure we tag Montana Knife Company. What are the other brands? RecTech grills. All these other kinds of things. What are the brands that are essential for?
So I work with RecTech. I think they are a very high quality pellet grill. They have great customer service. If I did not work with them, I could not say a bad thing about them. Like the owner of the company puts his personal cell phone number in a comment thread on the Facebook group if people have issues and they're like, I can't get this taken care of. He'll be like, give me a call, we'll get this fixed. Wow. And I was like, that's customer service.
Yeah.
This dude is like huge.
Yeah.
Primo Ceramic Grills. It's the only Kamado grill made in America now. They're made in Poplar Bluff, Missouri. They're great. They're oval shaped. I work with Baking Up Bacon Grease, which, with no seed oils now, they're really doing well. And they're actually from Owensboro originally.
Really?
Yeah. Really cool story. They live in the sister and brother live in Cincinnati, and then the other 2 brothers live in Texas.
Okay.
But absolutely amazing people. And they're also, Joe is medical.
Okay.
And then Rocket Fire Torch, that's a contract that came from the 46 million view baloney video on Facebook. I've been working with them for 3 years now. I have preferences on a lot of stuff, like seasonings. Like, I don't work with any seasoning companies, but I have my preferences.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like, it ends up to where you get relationships with those people, which makes you want to show their product even more.
Right, yeah,
because, if they're
just because they're good people. Right, exactly, right, yeah.
And that's a great thing about the social media, too. Very few gatekeepers in what I do, and very few people that you're like, I don't really want to be around that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Most people are really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, once and I found that in bodybuilding because there's like these preconceived notions, like in social media, right? That you're like, these people are going to be a bunch of pretentious people and da 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 da. And when you get into the bodybuilding thing, and then you get back there behind stage, and it's intimidating, and you're thinking you're comparing yourself to everybody. That's only you doing that.
Yeah.
And once you start talking to the people, especially some of the people that have been in the game for a long time, they're like, these are the nicest people ever.
Yeah.
Like nobody is a roid raged asshole or anything like that. So kind of the same. It is. It really is. And it's like now you've like unlocked this entire community of like, oh, now we just keep going into it because the confidence isn't like, well, everybody's kind of cool, And
that's how you grow.
Absolutely.
Like if you want to grow bodybuilding, if everyone is like that, it's going to grow. If everyone is the other way, people are going to shy away from it.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because I think you and I would probably kind of the same. It only takes one time. I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'm not. I don't need all this. I don't need this juju in my life. So you kind of mentioned it too. You've alluded to it, and you put a post out a couple of weeks ago where the cook of Deliciousness eating his own food has led down some paths.
Yep.
Yeah. So tell us about that.
Yeah, so that all really started. I've never been one to eat super healthy, and obviously I love my beer, and my bourbon, but I've always been really into fitness. Like you know that I've always kettlebells, a huge kettlebell guy for a long time, and even when I was eating crappy, I'd still get up the next morning and do a kettlebell workout.
Sure, right,
a lot of hiking. 2020 in August, I hiked from Yosemite, outside of Yosemite Valley, to Mount Whitney, 265-mile backpacking trip in 18 days. I lost 24 pounds in 18 days. I was in the best shape of my life.
Yeah.
Came home from that trip. I was in such good shape. I was running a lot. I ran a half marathon. Ended up getting plantar fasciitis really bad.
Okay.
To the point where like it was affecting my gait on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even hardly work without a lot of pain.
Yeah.
So I ended up having surgery for it. It did correct it. And then I got it in the other foot like 2 months after I healed from that one. And that one took forever. So because of the social media and that, I gained a lot of weight. I was eating a lot of the stuff that I was cooking. Very lazy as far as the fitness goes. If you can't use your feet, it really limits a lot of things you can do.
Well, and just the time and effort that you're putting into it, right?
Yeah.
It just
initially, because I was working full time.
Right? Yeah. You don't have time for it.
Yeah. And then I had back surgery. It was actually a week after I quit the hospital. I thought I had piriformis syndrome, zero back pain. I had pain in my butt cheek, and I was like, it's got to be piriformis. And it just kept getting worse and kept getting worse. And then one day I was doing yoga, and I felt electricity go down my leg, and I started having the worst back spasms of my life. And within a week, I couldn't get out of bed.
Oh, gosh.
And my toe was numb, and I was like, Rachel, we're going to have to go to the ER. I was like, I've never been to the ER in my life, but I'm going to have to go. And the doctor's like, we need to get an MRI. I had dropped foot and had surgery 2 days later.
Right, yeah, exactly. That's always the telltale sign.
It was sitting completely on the nerve root.
Yeah.
And, he's like, there's not an option except surgery for this.
Right, yeah.
So that was a long recovery, and I gained more weight when I should have been eating better then. But there just comes a point where you're like, I'm tired of living like this.
Yeah.
And I can exercise and stuff, but I still like my diet is not dialed in, and I'll never be that guy. I'll never be that guy that just eats clean every day. So I'm a very transparent person, and what you're alluding to, like I put on my Facebook, I was like, I started taking tirzepatide. I go to Optimize You in Owensboro there, and I started on the tirzepatide. I did a lot of research, and you hear the people talking about Ozempic face and all that stuff. Sure. Well, I mean, common sense tells you that if you are getting adequate protein and you are strength training, then you do not have to deal with that stuff.
Well, I mean, and so we preach that here too. And if you go to like company pitch, right? If you go to like to, Stefan and the guys at Optimize You Evans or at Owensboro, or if you come over here, like it's not a here's your bag of shots, come back in a month and get the rest of them kind of thing. There's plenty of places like that, and that's where the Ozempic, we call them melted candles, the melted candle effect,
right?
And also not attractive, right? I mean, if you're looking from a strictly aesthetic point of view, that's not a good look either, you know. So the ways to mitigate all that stuff protein, nutritional counseling. We have a Sika scan here. Most of our clinics have in-bodies just to kind of watch all that, watch skeletal muscle mass and body fat percentage start to change. But yeah, I mean, it requires counseling, and there's ways to mitigate it.
And the great thing about the tirzepatide too is I've noticed I don't want sugar as much. Like I still, don't get me wrong. Like when it's like I do my shots Sunday nights, probably Saturday morning, I start getting hungry again a little bit, but like I just don't eat junk like I did. And I just really try to focus on getting that protein during the day.
Right.
200 grams is my goal.
Right.
I don't always hit it, but sometimes I'm just so busy. It'll be like 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll be like, you haven't eaten anything today.
Right. Yeah.
But then,
and who's going to eat 1,200 calories after 5 o'clock? Right. Yeah.
Right.
Just
so
you can get
that's an intermittent fasting.
Right. Right.
Which I'm a huge fan of as well.
Yeah, sure. We, it's funny that you mentioned, I don't want sugar anymore because, and now it's kind of coming to fruition, but I will claim this forever, especially when the big news for it comes out. When we got as a corporation, I think it was like November 22, maybe. We were at a convention in Nashville when we first got the compounded semaglutide, and I don't think we had tirzepatide yet, but we had a guy that was sitting there talking to us about GLP-1 and kind of what it does and how it works and all this other stuff. And a couple of knuckle draggers like myself were in this conversation, and one of them was Dr. Howard, that's our medical director. Great dude. He's at Owensboro's medical director also.
Okay.
But we were kind of sat there and thought about it. It's like, okay, so we all were, the 3 or 4 of us that were doing it we're all pretty tight on our diet. We've got everything kind of dialed in. We exercise, we do all the things, and we kind of hypothesized that if we keep our same macros profile and we do some sort of like, people are going to say, we're going to get the trolls that say in-body scanning is worthless. Okay. Yeah. But as a measurement tool, and it's something to follow trends on, it's okay. Right. Yeah. So if we do in-body scanning now, and then every week we watch this and we do the semaglutide protocol, but we maintain our same macros profile where we're getting the 230 grams of protein a day and trying to keep up with like 18 to 2,400 calories and getting all the carbs and everything. Do you lose strictly body fat? This was the first thing. So, and the answer is yes, 100% yes. Now, it is miserable because you are force feeding yourself, because your body is saying that you're not hungry. But if you're not eating all the sugar and all the other stuff, which then brought up another question, because we thought the same thing too. It's like, okay, well, this isn't just I have the sensation of full, I don't want to eat. This is a cravings thing. So this isn't, there's something else going on here. And I probably still got the text messages, because I was curious. I was like, what if you gave this stuff to like people who smoked? Or, alcohol would be a little bit different because there's all kinds of things that go wrong with alcohol. Yeah. But like, what about things like sex? Gambling, people that have all these kinds of different, maybe not full-blown addictions, but probably do a little bit more than what they do. And it's impulsive. It's not like I go and do it for like casual fun too much. It's an impulse thing, and we just kind of like theorized about it. Fast forward 4 months later, what are they using it for now? They're using it for, hey, we're looking at it for like gambling addiction. We're looking at this. And I was like, I'm telling you. It's so the more that they find out about these kind of the treatment things that come along with it, because you're saying it yourself, just objective or subjectively, right? It's anecdotal coming from you. Like, I don't want this stuff anymore. Well, that's a change in behavior after a variable has been inserted, right? Yes. So what that variable is like, okay, well, we need to look at this a little bit more. So it's not just the skinny shot, that's been kind of like bastardized into, I think it does a whole lot more.
I mean, it's like everyone should do their research and, you got to make the best decision for yourself, but I have zero regrets.
And do not buy it from gray market, black market, or something like that. Just don't.
Yeah, there's so much. Like, I think there was I saw the other day that they busted a ship coming in that had like pallets and
pallets
pallets of
and
it.
pallets
It was
of it,
all like bootleg stuff. Like,
Yep.
who knows what you're injecting?
Sure, yeah. Well,
know?
especially, and where it's coming from, and everything else. And, like, nobody's getting, like, in COAs, that. Well, those don't mean anything, right? You can buy a COA. I had a gentleman tell me today that, like, your BPC is this, and I can get it for $60 on the internet. I'm like, you can buy running shoes at the dollar store, or you can buy running shoes at Ultimate Fit.
Yeah.
I don't know if those are really,
Yeah. Make your own choice.
Make your own choice, man. Like, I don't,
Look over it carefully.
Right. Yeah. The risk of whatever is much higher than running shoes, but it's kind of the same deal,
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so the Terzepatide. I'm doing Sermorelin as well.
Okay.
Been doing it consistently for about 5 weeks now. I do 5 days on, 2 off. The one huge thing that I've noticed since I started this, which I am down 26 pounds in a little over 12 weeks.
Okay.
The big thing
It's a perfect rate.
Yeah. No, I feel good about it.
Right, yeah.
I feel good every day.
Yeah, right.
But the huge thing is, man, after that back surgery, I was different. Like, I wake up every morning, my back was so tight, I could not bend over without bracing myself on something.
Yeah.
And in the last month and a half, my back feels the best that it has since 2010.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah. So for those people at home don't know, Sermorelin, however people say
However you
it,
pronounce it, yeah.
right? Yeah, comes from a group of peptides called growth hormone secretagogues. So they kind of tell your body to do these kinds of things, just like every peptide does, right?
Yeah.
Your body naturally does these things. Peptides tell it to do it more efficiently, better, or turn it off, or whatever.
Yeah.
It is. So we use a lot of Sermorelin here too. Recovery stuff, all the benefits of it. Sleep.
Yeah.
Growth hormone gets put out when you sleep. So
Yes.
go to sleep, and obviously the testosterone and everything, we can get off on that tangent too.
I'm on that as well.
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Love it.
Oh yeah.
Love
Love it. So what other kinds of things are you finding yourself having the time or making the time to, like, get any kind of exercise or anything like that too?
Yeah, so strength training 3 days a week is my only priority.
Okay.
And then I just try to increase my steps. I
Sure.
try to, and I want to start backpacking and hiking again. So at some point I'll start rucking again
Yeah.
and stuff. But the big thing right now is just make sure I'm doing my strength training.
Yep.
I'm not going to break any powerlifting records or
Sure.
anything, but at
Yeah.
this point in my life, it's just have a better quality of life.
Sure.
And, so I've got a nice gym set up in my basement, and I've got a Concept 2 rower. I have a treadmill. I have a Rogue Echo bike, so I can do all the cardio stuff too. It's a lot easier to skip cardio day than it is.
How many clothes you got hanging on that Rogue Echo bike? Those things are tough.
Actually, no, it doesn't have anything on it, but I haven't been on it in a minute. Yeah.
I always say that's like, it's not. I'm not saying that you're not using it. It's just that if I hang something on it, I feel like, oh well, I can find something else. What am I going to do with all these clothes if I use?
I have no problems riding it like a regular exercise bike. Either. I don't have to be going crazy.
No
with
Tabata,
it.
no 40 on 20, all
Right.
kinds of things. Right? Yeah.
But it's funny talking about the hormones. So that stuff interests me. So now I'm like down this rabbit hole of Retta.
Oh yeah.
And the ipamorelin and testosterone.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, do I want to change it up a little bit?
Right.
And what changed my mind is, so even with the testosterone, I started taking it 2.5 years ago. And after a little while, I was like, man, I don't know if I should be doing this or not. And then I saw a Joe Rogan podcast, and I don't even remember who was on it, but I remember him distinctly saying, if you're an over 40-year-old male, you should give yourself every advantage you can.
Yep.
And I'm like, he's right. Like,
100% too.
I don't know how much longer I'm going to be alive, but I want a good quality of life.
Hashtag Men's Health Month, June.
Yeah. So then I was like, I'm doing it. And so I love the peptides.
Yeah.
And if they can help me live a better quality of life,
Sure.
I'm going to do them. And I check, I do the research. I'm like, if there's a bad side effect or something, everything's going to have possible side effects.
Yeah.
But I've had 0 side effects from anything that I take, other than I will get the occasional nausea with the Terzepatide on, like maybe a day or 2 after I take my weekly shot. And I can tell this is just a lesson learned. Don't eat right before bed because it's still sitting there when you wake up.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, it's been fantastic. I feel like my systemic inflammation has greatly decreased.
Yeah. We have and that's another thing too. That's this kind of with the PCOS thing. Most recently, PCOS is now called. It's not called PCOS anymore. So they're looking at this like metabolic pattern more so than just hyper focusing on the ovary. Like it's still an ovarian thing, but it's not just because you got cysts on your ovary. It's all of these. It's the insulin resistance, elevated triglyceride, blah 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 blah. It's all this mass inflammation.
Yeah.
Treating them with GLP-1s, or whatever route that they use to bring all that down, and people get better.
Right.
I'm bragging on Optimize You. It's these things that we've talked about for years now, and we get, bashed by the medical community saying that, it's not what it is, it's not FDA approved. We know, but there's reasons why it's not, or for whatever you want to believe. Yeah. The problem, we get peptide calls out the wazoo, he's not as much at the forefront anymore, but whenever Brecca was really hit the height of his Dana White stuff, I would call our staff, and this is when we had a pretty limited staff. I was like, hey, you need to listen to the latest Ultimate Human podcast, not because I think that it's real, but because we're going to get 1,000 phone calls about it. I don't know how many people we had call about hydrogenated water. I'm like, well, tell me what you think that is. I don't know, but I got to do it or I'm going to die. And I tell people all the time, you have to be able to vet all this stuff out. I mean, at the end of the day, these people are marketers.
Yeah.
And they call themselves human biologists or neuroscientists or all this other stuff. And maybe they do, and there's ones that I listen to as well, but you have to be able to kind of sort through the noise of it all. One in particular that drives me crazy is Ben Greenfield, because I used to listen to Ben Greenfield all the time, and I would think I would leave every episode thinking, well, I'm dying.
Yeah.
I can't sun my butthole for 4 hours a day.
Right.
I'm going to die. And all these outlandish things that he does, and kind of the same thing, right? Well, you need to have this red light tower thing. And I'm like, okay, well, look at the red light tower. Well, my God, that thing is $60,000. Ben Greenfield isn't paying
someone sending him that. So,
the thing, and then probably obligated to tell us that we need to do it or these kinds of things. So I understand that that happens, but it's, when it's causing you anxiety as a listener, that all these things are harmful if you're not doing them, okay, well, they haven't, nobody's looking at, just the Juve red light tower, that's, it used to be this big panel wall thing or whatever that he used to talk about. And it was literally like $60,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we know the benefits of red light, but I have red light. It doesn't have to be that red light, does it? And it doesn't have to be like 6 hours a day. Right. Ben Greenfield, you're not doing this for 6 hours a day either, Mm-hmm. So I used to get a ton of anxiety about that kind of stuff, but it's the influence of social media, right?
Oh, it is, 100%. And if you watch one video all the way through, that's going to be your algorithm for the rest of the day.
Right, yeah.
And if you watch more, that's going to be your algorithm for the next 2 weeks.
Right.
And it's just going to keep imprinting in your head.
Right.
I enjoy stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I love, one of my favorite Joe Rogan guests is Rhonda Patrick.
Oh, yeah,
that woman's
for sure.
so smart.
So smart.
And she explains things in a way that I can understand, so it's not over your head. I dive into that stuff and I get interested in it. But it's also like, the great thing about Optimize You, which, like I said, you don't have to be an expert on the stuff. You can go there and have a consultation. And this is not a marketing. Like, I'm just saying,
I get it. No, yeah, sure,
like, But whenever I posted that about me being on the tirzepatide and the TRT and all that, I can't tell you how many messages I got of people wanting to know more about it.
Yeah.
And I think there's a stigma to it still that people are afraid to ask. So, like, think about starting like a Facebook page where, like, you could anonymously ask questions so you don't have to feel, singled out or whatever.
Yeah.
And get some advice or get people's feedback and stuff, because everybody's going to have different experiences with that stuff.
Yeah.
But, I'm very pro at this point. Like, it's been great for me. And I think the big thing with it, too, is not only does it have metabolic effects, but I think it also kind of changes your like I know I've got to strength train, I got to get my protein. So it makes you build healthier habits because you're doing it as well.
Yeah. So what I tell people that if you're considering using a GLP-1 and you just need to you feel like you need to do something,
Yeah.
okay? Because we'll get the people in, and you've heard it before. We've heard it in ER, you've heard it in cath lab, and I'm like, well, I've tried to exercise, but I just don't. I'm not getting anywhere. If I can give you something that gives you a little bit of confidence, or that gives you a little bit of motivation into like, hey, let's do this. Let's start doing this. Okay, I know you've been doing this, and that sucks. I know, but let me give you this, tirzepatide, semaglutide, whatever it may be, to get you jump started. Okay, and we're not going to get escalating dosages. You're not going to be on, 40 milligrams of it, by the end of it, it's all over with, and then just completely burn out every receptor that you have to where it doesn't work anymore. If you're having to escalate yourself up to that dose, I am a firm believer that you're just, I hate to say that you're not taking it seriously, but I don't think that there's something's not right. We really need to keep a food diary or show me what you're doing. I have one of my favorite stories about my partner, Jessica, is that she had and we're kind of known as like non-nonsense kind of people. Like I hope you're not coming to optimize you. I'm sure Stefan and them are the same way, for us to kind of like coddle you into thinking that what you're doing is enough. Okay. Because it's typically not what it is. Right. Because we're human and we kind of BS ourselves into thinking that, well, I mean, I walk around, right. But it's not intentional walking and that kind of stuff. So a woman kept calling back and saying that, I'm doing all these things and it's just not happening. She's like, I need you to 7,000 steps a day. There's no way I don't get 7,000 steps a day. So she comes into the office and they're having this kind of a conversation, and Jessica goes, let me see your watch. The woman takes off her watch because she walks all day long at work, so she doesn't need to walk when she gets home. She doesn't need to do this. She doesn't know why these medications not working, why her hormone dosage is off and everything else. 1,800 steps.
That's what she got at work.
That's what she got at work. But she walks all day long.
Yeah.
But all day long is point A to point B, which is 40 feet, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And you don't recognize that kind of part of it. So truly kind of conscious, intentional, purposeful activity is what everybody needs, and that's when you start seeing the difference. It's not how much you can bench press or weight lift or becoming like paralyzed at the fact that, well, that guy's over there squatting. I'm never going to squat 305. Why would I want to do? Why would you want to? I'm not either.
Don't compare yourself to other people. Just try to better for yourself.
Yeah, just try it better for yourself, and whenever I started my weight loss journey almost 30 years ago at this point, mine was mailboxes. Like, I'm going to run from my house to that mailbox, and then I'm going to get really good at that, and then I'm going to run to that mailbox, to that mailbox, and then I'm going to go down to the stop sign, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Those are just set yourself little goals. Don't set yourself up for failure.
Yep. It's being consistent. I mean, little small changes equal huge changes over time.
Yeah. It makes it difficult. It's really easy in my world, right? Because I'm surrounded by it.
Yeah.
But it's difficult, I'm sure.
Yeah. I'm going to actually do things. I was thinking about this, like whenever I'm cooking outside, I'm like, let's start sticking a kettlebell out there, and I can do a set of snatches while I'm in between flipping the chicken thighs.
It's a beautiful idea, right? Yeah. And just knock out two different genres, right?
What is it they call that? Pavel had a word for it. Where you just do like presses during the day.
Just greasing the groove.
Greasing the groove.
Yeah,
greasing the groove. Yeah.
I tell people that all the time, and they say, well, I don't want to get big. You're not going to. I promise you're not. I don't want to be like a bodybuilder big. Yeah, you're not going to.
Excuses for yourself.
You're not going to. I promise you. Yeah. I've lived that life. This has nothing to do with that part of it, especially what everybody else is kind of putting into it, and putting into themselves, right? It's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So, but I tell people to grease the groove all the time. Put 2 10-pound pull plates on each side of a dumbbell and just curl, but upright rows,
Yeah.
good mornings, all that kind of stuff, and just work with
Well,
everything.
it's simple. I don't know. I'm sure you know the facts behind this study, but there's a study out talking about if you do 10 body weight squats every 45 minutes, it has like a huge effect on your like insulin sensitivity
sure.
or something over a
Yeah.
period of time.
Yeah.
That's something simple people can do.
Go walk for 10 minutes after a meal. I mean, that's the best thing you can go do. You live in a neighborhood, or you got a driveway, you go do whatever.
Yep.
Got a treadmill down in the basement, eat, go down there, walk for 10 minutes.
Yep.
That's it.
Yep.
I don't know what the actual numbers are, but I mean, it's pretty significant. Insulin sensitivity improves tremendously.
Yes.
Yes.
And it all just builds. I mean, it's
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's like
consistency.
compounding effect on
Yeah,
everything.
100%.
Right. Yeah. So what's the future of Cooker of Deliciousness? It's more and more content.
Yeah, just trying to stay relevant and continue to do it for a
You're
career.
relevant, Matt. Come on.
But well, I mean, you have to adapt and
Sure.
always,
Yeah.
like everything's changing. So you get like that's why I said I just want to try to get people to relate to Matt Ramsey and not just the Cooker of Deliciousness
Right, yeah.
recipes or whatever, and just try to get better at what I do. And the big thing I really focus on is, this is the honest truth. Like I wake up every morning, I thank God for this opportunity.
Yeah,
like
man.
I'm so
Yeah.
blessed, and I will never take it for granted. So I'm really trying to do a lot more charity stuff. I'm doing an event in September, which I'm a big bourbon guy. I'm actually partnering with Green River Distillery. We're going to have an event at the distillery, and we don't have all the details exactly what we're doing, but it's going to benefit Borrowed Hearts, which they support foster care families and provide temporary housing for foster kids till they get placement. It's dear to my heart because Rachel's brother's kids are both adopted through ties with Borrowed Hearts.
Nice.
So they don't get a lot of funding. And then after this year, I don't know if I will head up a charity thing myself, but I'm talking to a couple of people with helping them. I just want to keep giving back because it's been such a blessing.
I love it. Will you let us know if you do, man? Because I'm a couple years. What are you, 45, 46?
I turned 46 in April.
Turned 46 in April. Okay. I turned 50 in April. Yeah, we're pretty close together. That's right. I remember that now. Yeah. I turned 50 in April, and my biggest thing is that my dad passed away in September, and that was weird.
Yeah.
I'm an only grandchild on my dad's side of the family.
Okay.
So my family is incredibly small. And there were so many things in life that I was just scared to do.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be a nurse anymore. You didn't hate nursing, I'm assuming. It was fine. It was a gig, whatever, and it pays well and does, took care of your kids and everything. But I would be scared to death to do things, like I didn't have the confidence to do it, didn't have the, the imposter syndrome, whatever you want to call it, right? Yeah, the know-how, the paralysis by analysis is my part of it.
Yeah,
I'm the guy. It's got to be the lighting. I have to have this camera. I've got to have that. Oh no, that looks dumb. I don't want to do it, and then I've put it off, right? And it's just procrastination. It's me. It has nothing to do with anything else. But I am incredibly passionate about just helping people be not me.
Yeah.
So like
Come out of their shell.
Come out of your shell. Like, and at least just try. Just try. If you need a cushion to fall back on, well, then you just got to hustle that much harder because you got to add that to the mix, right? So if I want a studio and I want to make movies and I'm going to do all these things because I can distinctly remember telling my parents I wanted to go to a film school, and they're like, "You're not going to film school." I'm like, I am. I want to do these kinds of things. So 32 years later, fast forward 32 years, and it's like, all right, I'm going to do it. And then I find my people. And I'm like, we're going to do this thing. We're going to figure this out. We're all going to do it, and it's not cooking, it's not social media and type, but it's just our thing. It's your thing, it's our thing. And then being able to use that as a bridge to help foster children. Like you would have never, 20 years ago, 24 years ago at this point?
Yeah.
Working in the ER at 3:00, taking care of any of the nameless guys at, the usual suspects in Owensboro. You and I would never dream that we were doing this.
Definitely not on the radar.
But we thought of it, right? You could have thought about things to do, not necessarily cooking, but things that you could have been, if you just had a little bit of oomph to go do it, right?
I've always been a dreamer.
Yeah, absolutely.
So like, it's like not necessarily translated into career, but you know, like I would hiking the John Muir Trail.
Yeah.
We went on vacation to Yosemite, and I climbed Half Dome, and I met a guy that hiked it, and I left, and I was like, I'm hiking the John Muir Trail, and I hiked it a year later.
Yeah.
And you know, like playing these famous golf courses, things like that.
Yeah.
It's funny. Last night I had some dinner with some friends and at the Mexican restaurant, and I drank a couple of beers, and we were talking baseball.
That's one of the best ideas.
I was like, I was like, listen, I was like, hear me out. I'm 46. I was like, I could learn how to throw a great knuckleball, and I could still make it to Major League Baseball. I was like, that's the one thing in sports that you could do if you could throw a great knuckleball.
The lost art of the knuckleball.
I was like, but I'm only going to play for the Yankees, and I was like, but I'm going to start training, which I hadn't. I didn't throw any knuckleballs today, but it's so funny. I was like, last night I was convinced. I was like, dude, you could do this.
Yeah,
that's how my mind operates. Like, I will never tell myself I can't do something.
Yeah,
and I think a lot of people say that too much, like I can't do this or I can't do that.
Yeah.
You asked my wife. One time I ran a 10K because she told me I couldn't do it. So I was like, well, I'll prove to you. So I ran the whole thing without walking.
Yeah.
Without training for it.
Yeah.
And that's just how my mind operates. And it's good on things like that, but it's horrible for other things.
It is. Right. It is. We had our big kind of like corporate party in Riviera Maya this past Saturday night, you know, and everybody, it's music and drinking and food and everything else. And me and this guy, Lucas, were just like over in the corner, like just bouncing movie ideas off each other, you know, just because that's our thing, you know, like that. It's just fun for me. And the fact that at this point in my life, it's it's not just a reality. It's like, no, it's going to happen. Like this is just what we're going to do, you know? So I love that part of me. Encourage my kids to do it. My oldest son or my youngest son, my only son, but youngest son wants to go into professional wrestling. Do it, man. Now you still got to go to school because that's the hustle. That's part of it, right? That's part of it, you know. But if you can hustle, if you can go to school and hustle this other thing, man, you're the character, the integrity, the grit, the resilience, all of those, you know, buzzwords that kind of come into that are priceless in order to put you through that. So same thing goes with everything, whether it's cooking, whether it's working out, bodybuilding, whatever kind of stuff you're doing. It's just do it. Go
make your dream a reality.
Right.
I mean, you just got, I think it was a like Lightning McQueen quote from that freaking Cars movie where he said, I never told myself I couldn't. And that's it. Like, just, you have that mindset. You can do anything if you want to put your mind to it.
Yeah. Matt Ramsey, the tech in ER that knew everything there was to know about Scotty Cameron putters and kettlebells, woke up one Saturday morning after cooking Totino's Pizza Rolls and had 9 million TikTok views.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
That's
crazy.
Awesome.
Right. And it's going to be a better human because of it.
Yeah.
We're going to use that platform and push it out into the world good. And then that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Yeah.
Help as many people as we can.
Right. We can all go and make jobs 9 to 5 and make a living and die, someday. Right.
Yep. But it's not how I'm going out.
Me neither.
You know.
Me neither. Dude, it's great to see you, man. I am super proud of you. I'm super proud to know you.
Likewise, dude. This place is beautiful.
Thanks,
I got the tour of this place.
Man.
Is beautiful.
Yeah. But everybody knows your socials. I don't know why, but yeah, for people that don't know, where can they find you at?
Cooker of Deliciousness on all platforms, and then my website is cookerofdeliciousness.com. So if you check those out, I do appreciate it. So
is your cookerofdeliciousness.com, how does that work?
So that's just where all my recipes are. So people go. I work with a lady now that does specializes in SEO. So the majority of my traffic is Google organic traffic now through searches. But I run ads on it through Raptive, a media company, and however many page views I get, it helps bring in some income. So
awesome,
very helpful.
Awesome, very good. Yeah, Cooker Delicious is on all platforms. CookerDeliciousness.com. Matt, it was great to see you, dude.
Yes, likewise.
All right, brother. Check us out on all our platforms: Spotify, YouTube, Instagram, Better Human Pod, Instagram, Off Script Studios, and all other platforms as well. Y'all take care. Thanks.